Welcome to another edition of Real Estate Live. I'm Kathy Mae Martin and I'm your host. You know, when you're dealing with real estate, knowledge is protection. And we've got a great show for you tonight. We're going to separate truth from fiction regarding termites and transactions. So stay tuned. Check the screen for our email address and our phone number. You can call in or email in, and we're going to answer your questions live on the air. Scott, if you'll put our email address and phone number up there, we'll let our customers call in or email, and stay tuned. We got a great show for you. Welcome back. I've got as my guest tonight, Brandon Ferguson with Pest Exterminating. Thank you for being here, Brandon. How long have you been in the business?
Thanks for having me. Been doing it for about 3 years.
For 3 years.
Yeah,
Pest Exterminating's been around for a long time,
yes.
Right?
Been in business for almost 28 years, serving around county.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of transactions for us, and I know not only you do termite inspections, what other infestations do you deal with?
So we do general pest control. We offer monthly and quarterly services. We do one-time services dealing with different rodents and wildlife issues, bees, pretty much any kind of pest control we can take care of.
You can take care of it.
Give it our best shot.
I bet you get some strange calls.
Yes, we do. We've seen a lot of things doing pest control.
I bet, yeah. So that's good to know. We're going to talk mainly about termites tonight. What is the most common type of termite that you see in this area?
So here, subterranean termites are the biggest issue. There's another type that you don't see very often around this part of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you talk about this part of Tennessee, is termites more prevalent in Tennessee than some of the other states?
No, I mean, all the states have their different issues, but no, I mean, it's no worse here than, being anywhere else.
Yeah, okay. What conditions around a house might attract termites?
Moisture is always a problem. Moisture in crawl spaces. That's why it's so important to keep your crawl space dry. Mulch against your house. That's a no-no. But moisture is the biggest attractant.
Right. I think Scott's got a little view here. That's termites at its best right there. Have you ever seen anything like that in your inspections?
Oh yeah. We find live termite action a lot. That's a good one there though. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of scary looking.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage and it does not take long.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty scary. Is there certain times of the year that termites are more prevalent than others, or is this a year-round thing?
They can be. I mean, they can be a year-round problem. They swarm in the spring. That's when homeowners typically realize that they have an issue. Is when they'll see them swarm. They'll outside somewhere. Because really, other than that, it's hard to know you have them until you have them. But the springtime's when they swarm, and that's when it's generally people find out that they have them.
Yeah, most people never think about termites until there's a problem. And they see the swarming.
Most of our termite work comes from remodels. When you start remodeling a home, you start tearing out walls and doing different things, and that's when you'll run into them. Or like we said, when they swarm, that's when you'll find them.
Or they're going to buy or sell a house.
Yes.
Then they find out.
We do. We do a lot of termite inspections for real estate transactions. So when you're actually sending someone out to look for them, then that's when we find them also.
Now, are new homes less likely to have termites?
Not necessarily. So a lot of new homes, we recommend doing a pre-treatment on, and we do a lot of those for local builders and things like that. That definitely helps offset. But no, I mean, just because a house is new doesn't mean that termites won't find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no kind of building products out there that
No.
are termite proof
No.
or anything like that.
No. No. So
Interesting.
I suggest if you're building a new home, do a pre-treatment. That's always a good step, and it's kind of cheap insurance,
Right, absolutely. I know one of the builders saw you were going to be on the show tonight
Yep.
and sent in a nice compliment, said that you do all their pre-treatments.
Yeah,
So,
we do several. We do several of the builders around here.
what happens in a typical termite inspection?
So, crawl space houses, which is generally what you find, we just go into the crawl space. We check all your seal plates. Look for the termite tunnels, which is the telltale sign of having them. Check for any moisture areas or anything like any kind of things like that would be an attractant, and we'd note that on the inspection. But typically that's it. It's just a thorough inspection of your crawl space or basement. Check around outside structures, same thing. We look for termite tubes and things like that.
Do you pull back some of the mulch and look for?
Yeah, I mean, if it's readily accessible, we will, just to check. But typically, you typically find most of your trouble underneath.
So when you're doing a home inspection, or a termite inspection, I should say,
Yep.
a termite inspection typically in our business is separate from a
Yes.
home inspection.
Yeah, we generally work hand in hand with the home inspectors. They'll report to us if they see something, or kind of vice versa. We tell them to. So, but yes, it's a separate inspection.
And it's not always required to get a loan
No.
on a house, or
No.
if you're paying cash, I would always suggest
Yeah.
getting a termite inspection.
Yeah.
But most VA loans and FHA loans require it.
Yes.
Yes, and that's part of the buyer's expense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what are some of the hardest areas when you're doing a termite inspection to access?
So a lot of older homes have tiny crawl spaces. Some of them, we get in some of them that you just barely got enough room to scoot around to check. Those are always the worst.
Do you have like a camera or something that you slip up in there? Or?
No, I mean, if we just crawl, just get in there the best way we can. Got really good flashlights.
Yeah.
And so we didn't run across one yet that we couldn't get to, but there's some that are a whole lot harder than others.
Yeah. I know most termite inspections say you're only responsible for what you can see.
Yep.
You can't see behind
Exactly.
the walls
Yes.
if there's infestation
Yep.
going on.
Yep.
And I know a lot of times that happens before
Oh, yeah.
people know it.
Yeah, I mean it does.
Yeah.
It's so we're we document what we can see. We don't do any kind of siding removal or anything like that for the inspection. But I definitely recommend them because termite damage can be costly and termite treatments can be costly. So if you can, if you're buying a house and find something, it's better to find it then.
They can do a lot of damage in what, a month,
Oh,
3
yeah.
months?
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
I mean, and the way they work, like I said, we've been to houses where, there would be a wall there and everything looked fine, and as soon as you pull the sheetrock off, half the studs are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Can cause some real structural problems.
definitely can cause some.
And you were
damage.
telling me earlier you're a contractor too, so you can kind of see
Yeah.
what's going on and know how big of a problem.
Yeah, it definitely can be an issue.
Yeah.
So-
How long does it take normally to do an inspection?
Just depends on the size of the house. I mean, it's not. I mean, obviously we do some houses that are 1,000 square feet and some that are 5,000 square feet.
Right.
So it's just directly proportional to that. But it's not. I mean, it's not a super. Once we get in the crawl space and access it and crawl around, it's not. If we find anything that's of concern, we'll take photos and that sort of thing, which takes a little more time. But it's not maybe an hour. Hour and a half maybe.
Okay, we've got a comment Says I had a buyer who was buying a home and termites were found. Brandon and his company did a lot of work to clean it up so we could get it closed. Great work, Brandon.
Yes.
There you go. That's a great compliment. Yeah, I know. A lot of times, if there is termites, let's talk about that for a minute. You're going out, you're doing an inspection, and you find termites.
Yep.
So you recommend a treatment,
Yep.
and you give them a price. How's that
Yeah,
work?
so most all the realtors, we do a lot of work for the same realtor, so we're familiar with everybody. And so, yeah, if we go out and we find any issues at all, we of course we document it on the paperwork, and then we'll usually call the realtor from the job, from the site, from the home, and say, hey, here's what we found, here's what I recommend, and then we just go from there, And so then you'll have some homeowners agree right up front, hey, let's just go ahead and fix it, but yeah, we just take care of it like that.
So when you find the termite damage, do you draw a graph and
Yep.
kind of say this is where
Yep.
it
So
is,
we
this
have
is
a-
what it looks
So
like?
we have a map that'll show, what the basic layout of the footprint of the house, and it'll just document, what we found, termite tunnels. There's instances where we'll find termite tunnels, but then not recommend any treatment because you can tell it's been prior treated. If we can tell that a home has been treated, 9 times out of 10, what you're seeing is the prior evidence that led to it being treated to begin with. So we take note of that, if it looks like it's had any previous treatments or anything like that. Yeah.
So going back to that termite letter, I know for a realtor's purpose, we have to have a clear termite letter
Yep.
at closing,
Yep.
which means that that's got to be treated prior to closing.
Yep.
And so you'll give an estimate. We go back to the owners and the buyers.
Yep.
And
So here it
you know,
is.
we typically don't lose contracts over a termite inspection or a termite treatment.
Treatment.
That's a fairly normal
Yep.
thing in this area,
Yep.
unless there's structural damage or it's
Yeah.
a
And
lot of damage.
we've had some instances where that was the situation too. We'd find termites, but then also find significant damage, and then it's up to deciding, how much they want to fix and not fix and that sort of thing.
So when you do a termite treatment, what all is involved in that?
So it really depends on the structure. Crawl spaces, a lot of times we drill the foundation of the block, and we do a liquid treatment, which we drill the blocks and spray inside. Some of them involve trenching outside and digging a trench and treating the subsoil. Concrete slabs, we drill the slabs, treat that way. And then we also do like the termite bait stations as a treatment, which is, I guess any treatment's better than nothing. But
Right.
the thing with the bait stations is, they get checked yearly. The poison gets refilled, and then they're just there. You have them, So
And so you go by, let's say you do, and I think, is it called a Citricon treatment?
so there's different companies. Citricon is actually a company
Okay.
that has theirs. Theirs is a proprietary station that they use. We use one that's called Traylona. It's essentially the same thing. It's just it's a more over the counter, unit. But that's what we install is the Traylona stations, and they work the same principle. They have a lid you open up. Inside they've got a chamber that holds cartridges, and they'll have a bait cartridge, which is some sort of wood, and then they'll have a poison cartridge. And as it attracts them to it, they eat the poison and does away with them.
And so let's say you do that kind of treatment.
Mm-hmm.
How long should an owner expect that to last? Should they have that inspected every
So
year?
the bait stations we inspect yearly. So if we come out to your residence and install stations, of course when we install them they get filled up, and then yearly we come out, we open up every station, check to make sure that they still have bait and poison in them. If not, we refill them and just do them yearly, once a year.
So when you're doing the drilling, how long do those last? You still come back out every
Yeah,
year?
come out every year and check for, so we can do, spot treatments or check for any signs, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So a lot of times when I'm showing a house, hey, we've got another comment here. Brandon and his team do lots of preventive work for our rentals. Very professional and does great work.
Yeah.
You're getting lots of accolades on here,
Yeah,
Brandon.
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We try to be, fair, and be fair with our pricing and just try to help people.
Yeah, I know you do some commercial
Yeah.
treatments for me
Yeah.
and inspections, so I
Yeah.
really appreciate the work you do. Thank you, Jensen, for that comment. Okay, let's say we're going out to a house and we're looking maybe at listing it or we're showing a house. Is there some red flags that a realtor or buyer should know if they're walking around a house or a seller? Any red flags that, like mulch up close to the house?
Things like that can always be an issue, yes. But really, without just, getting into a full-blown
swarm.
inspection or seeing them, they are hard. It's hard to know when they're there. We did termite inspections before, and it'd be all clear as far as what we could see, and
Right.
and then come to find out that they start remodeling or something, and there is termites. And a lot of times those will be the ones that call and say, hey, you did our termite inspection 6 months ago, or whatever. Now we've got termites. Can you come out and take a look?
Yeah.
And so we'll go out and take care of it. But they are hard to. They're hard to know they're there. They're a problem for sure.
Yeah. So let's say you go out, we've got a house listed. Do you recommend a pre-inspection for homes?
It's probably not a bad idea, and we do have those. We'll have not necessarily realtors call, but homeowners call and say, hey, I'm going to list my house for sale in 6 months or some time frame, and we'll do an inspection, like a pre-inspection.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty common, really, especially if somebody knows ahead of time that they're going to sell their house and they're trying to prep it to sell.
Right.
Kind of ticks that one off without having to get into it after you've got to deal with somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah,
'Cause
like I said, people don't normally
Yes.
think about termites
Yeah.
or having termites
Yeah.
unless they are swarming
Yep.
or they're getting ready to buy and sell.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's say one of my sellers does an inspection. You go out there. What you give them a clear termite letter?
Yeah,
or-
so we do. So if it's especially for an individual homeowner, we'll go out, we'll do the inspection, we'll write up the report. Put no evidence found, no treatment required, and then that's as good as they can show that to their whoever.
The
A lot of
buyer.
times, like you said, with certain loans, they're still required anyway. So some of them we end up going back and doing a second time, just because it's required
Right.
by the lender, the bank or whatever. So yeah, but it's never a bad idea.
Now, how long are those termite letters good for?
30 days.
30 days.
Yeah.
So if you're going to list a house and you're doing a termite letter,
Yeah.
if you have one and it's past 30 days, you're going to need to get
Have to
that
redo it.
updated.
Yep.
So they just
And
call
then-
you.
Yeah, and we'll go back out and check it again. But in 30 days' time, there can be a lot of change.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. What's probably one of the worst inspections that you've come across as far as termite? Was it a older house that had been abandoned for a while? What?
So typically the worst ones are always the older houses. You can have termites in a new house, but generally, it's not near as bad. But you get a lot of these old houses, especially with low crawl spaces. We've seen some that floor joists were completely
Yeah.
eat out of. You wonder how the subfloors still even stay there. But it's typically older houses that don't have crawl spaces or very low crawl spaces, and lots of moisture you know, the crawl space encapsulation, that's a big thing. It really is, it's good to do that. It's a little bit of money up front, especially if you're building or something, but the benefits of it, the moisture control and the just pest control general across the board, is just, that's a good product.
So I'm hearing some red flags for buyers and realtors and home sellers. If you're walking in your house and there's a soft spot,
Yeah.
then
It's probably worth getting checked out.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah,
Would you call a termite inspector first on that? Do you think? You're a contractor.
Yeah, both. I would start with a contractor, you know, because it could just be something as simple as a water leak or something like that. 9 times out of 10, the contractor is going to say, "Hey, you've got termites," if that's the case, and then you call us. But yeah, I'd probably start with the contractor and then go from there, because there could be a lot of reasons why you have, you know, soft spots or whatever.
Oh yeah. So if we walk in a house that we smell kind of mold and there's a moisture issue, we're probably going to have some termite issues. Would you say?
Probably so.
Yeah. And that does happen a lot. So. If you're
Yeah.
running across some of those red flags out there, you might want to call Brandon here and
It's definitely worth getting checked out for sure.
Be worth checked out.
A termite inspection doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's kind of one of those things that, you know,
So
it don't hurt to do it.
Right. Let's say we have a house that's inspected. We find termites, and you come out. You recommend a treatment, and both the buyer and the seller agree to that treatment, or mainly the seller. He's going to have to get it fixed before he can sell it.
Whether that buyer buys it or the next buyer buys it.
Yeah,
it's gonna
that's
have to be
what
fixed.
I always tell them. It's got to be fixed.
Yep.
And you want to fix that. Do you give a warranty? How does that work?
So if we come out and do a treatment for a new buyer, it comes with a 1-year warranty. You know, basically meaning if you do start doing remodeling and you find more, we'll come out and treat it at no charge. You know, it's included with your initial treatment.
Right.
And that's good for a year.
That's good.
Yeah.
And is that a renewable contract?
Yeah, so we do a renewable. If we do it every year, if we do a check like your stations or doing the liquid, as long as we do it once a year, then it'll renew yearly. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you determine the cost of the treatment? Is that by square footage?
So it's based on square footage or linear footage. The outside base stations are based on the linear footage of your perimeter of your home, and liquid treatment is kind of a combination of the square footage and the linear footage.
I know I got some savvy homeowners out there that think, hey, I'm just going to go to Ace Hardware, Lowe's, or you know, Tractor Supply, and I'm going to treat this myself. But there they are. There's the homeowner treating for spiders, wasps. But does your termite treatment take care of those as well, or is it just for termites?
So the chemical, it'll ants and termites mostly is what it's good for. And you can buy some over-the-counter products that are probably okay to use, but the things we buy are you're required. You know, you have to have a license to buy them. They're generally stronger or longer lasting, or you know, both stronger and longer lasting.
If a homeowner tells me he's not going to have any issues with termites
because he's been treating it himself, I'd probably still get it checked.
That's a red flag.
I'd probably still get it checked out. So.
Definitely, probably want to get that checked out.
Yeah.
As I said, a lot of the lenders require it, and
like VA loans, they require a treatment for any building on the property.
Oh yeah, that's
if you have, and those are usually bad too. Like if you have. You know, the storage buildings like everybody has in their backyard. A VA loan requires every structure to be checked. And so we'll find termites in those buildings a lot of times, and, you know, detached garages, stuff like that. So,
those buildings kind of get left out and not worried as much about moisture and damage, but you're right, that's a good point. VA does require that.
Every structure on the property to be checked. So,
that's a really great point.
Yeah, and then that can you know, lead into, if you got them in a storage building, is it worth treating it, or is it better just to get rid of the building? You know.
Yeah,
So-
and that presents a problem because that building may have had some kind of value
Yep, that
to the
shows.
buyer. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky
it gets
situation. So.
it gets tricky.
Conventional
So,
loans don't require, most of them don't require all the structures being checked. So,
the FHA loans do
Yeah,
not
do not.
require. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. VA, that's a
Yeah.
great point.
They're very,
What if
very
there's
picky.
like a dock or a barn? Do
Docks,
those?
barns, any structure on a VA loan has to be checked. Generally, docks are pretty much termite safe just by the nature of,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
But they still have to be checked and documented and all that stuff.
yeah. Interesting. That's a really good point. If you were going to tell a homeowner one thing today to take away from this program, what would you? I mean, get a termite inspection annually, or
I mean, yeah, you can. The biggest thing is, like we've said several times, check your crawl space. I mean, most pest control problems start there, and whether it be moisture or, keeping your vents sealed up, have screen or whatever in your vents. A lot of people, you buy a house and you don't know crawl space is just there. You don't never worry about it. But moisture in crawl spaces is always a huge problem with pest control and that sort of thing.
so when they're having a termite inspection, and let's say they're working, and you've got an inspection scheduled for that day, do you actually need inside the house? Do you
We generally do just a look around, just to make sure, check baseboards, that sort of thing, door frames. We generally do inside. I mean, there's been times when we cannot access the inside, and we'll do just a crawl space or basement. But yeah, generally we do look around inside too.
And let's say you're in there and you're inspecting, you don't necessarily find termites, but there is some other kind of infestation in there.
Yeah.
Do you note that?
So we won't note that on the termite inspection, on the letter itself. But yes, I will tell, I've told realtors before, hey, we didn't find no termites, but there was these hornet's nest, or there was this or that. So yeah, we make it known to them. It doesn't usually get documented, because the termite letter is just for termites.
I know I've had some inspectors go out and say, hey, this is a 50-year-old home. We didn't find termites, but we recommended treatment.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, we will, especially again, back to those same conditions. If there's a lot of moisture or if you find any kind of like soft wood or something like that, then we'll recommend them. Just depending, on the situation.
And I know you talked about shelter tubes.
Yep.
A lot of times there might not have been a treatment,
Yep.
but there's shelter tubes, but no active termites.
Yep.
How do you note that on an inspection?
So what we'll do is if I can't find any sign of a prior treatment, drill holes or having bait stations or whatever treatment style I did, we'll note on there that we found empty shelter tubes, no live insects, but still recommended treatment. Because if you've had them at some point and not had a treatment, then chances are they're still lurking around somewhere.
They're still
Just
lurking
because you don't
around
find them in the
somewhere.
shelter tubes,
Right.
they've moved somewhere else. So,
I know a lot of times people will store, they'll be working on the house and they'll tear off some pieces of the siding or whatever, and they throw it underneath the house.
Yep.
And there's termites on that. They're not actually on the house, but you still have to recommend a treatment.
yeah. I had a lady this past summer call us, and she had went to someplace in Sevier County and bought a bunch of barnwood
Oh,
and was going to use it for decoration inside of her home. And sure enough, when her husband got to going through it, he found some termite tunnels and then found live termites in
Yeah.
lumber that she had just bought to put inside of her home.
yeah.
So
Yeah, note to self,
Yeah.
don't store old wood
and
underneath
if you're
your
going to use
house
old wood
or,
for decorating, which I know a lot of people do,
or out there in
Check
some
it.
of those storage buildings unless, you
Yeah.
know, you're out there making sure you don't have termites, right?
Make sure you check it good.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
well, Brandon, anything you want to leave us with today, or?
No, just like I said, thanks for having us. And if anybody out there is doing real estate or anything, feel free to call us. I think he's got a slide with our contact information.
Can we show the guest info? There's Brandon's number and his email address. He's going to do a great job for you. If you're looking to buy or sell, or you're a realtor out there and you need just a termite inspection in general, or any kind of infestation, rodents, give him a call. He'll do a great job for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brandon, for being here today.
Thank you very much.
So follow us on or contact us there. You'll see the email address. Follow us on Facebook, and we'll have our next show, Real Estate Live, and that'll be next Thursday at 7 o'clock. So tune in, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Okay.